So we know from your book that you testified to District Attorney Fani Willis's grand jury in Georgia. She has said she has 150 witnesses for the trial against Donald Trump or Mark Meadows if they're tried together, both of those trials. Are you one of those witnesses?
I have cooperated with every investigation that I've been asked to testify to, and I will continue to do so in any and every investigation moving forward.
So has the district attorney given you any sense that you might be testifying in this first speedy trial that occurs next month?
If she does ask, we will be fully cooperative.
But so far she hasn't? There's no word from them about testifying?
I'll leave it with my prior statement for now.
Okay. And I understand that some of these questions will have that kind of the careful answers that you might have to give. So I want to do the same thing with Jack Smith's prosecutions. Jack Smith's prosecution in Washington, D.C., that might not be occurring at all were it not for your testimony to the January 6th committee. Will you be a witness in that case? This is the case of the United States of America versus Donald Trump. That's the name of the case, where he is charged with crimes leading up to and on January 6th. He's the only defendant in that case. Do you expect to be a witness in that trial?
If Jack Smith and his team asks that I testify, I will cooperate with that.
Is that on an index card somewhere?
It is not, Lawrence, but what I want to be careful, not just for my interest, but I think that there is something to respect about our institutions of government, and our Department of Justice is designed to operate effectively behind closed doors. And I would not want to get ahead of anything that the prosecution is doing. But I will say this too, Lawrence. What I think I testified to the committee was vital and it was important, but it was vital and important at the time because there weren't a lot of other people testifying. Hopefully my testimony helped open the doors to the people that could potentially provide more information.
So my next question, which I can anticipate the answer to already, is because of the book, not because of anything you said in the January 6th committee. And it is the question of, will you be a witness in the Florida case charging Donald Trump with violations of the Espionage Act, obstruction of justice? He also has two co-defendants, people who worked for him, who were in their way, similar positions to what you were in the White House with the president. And the reason I ask it is the book is filled with Mark Meadows burning documents in that fireplace in the White House Chief of Staff's office. There's a description of the classified documents being moved around, being stored in your desk where you're saying they shouldn't be stored, and then being handed to reporters. And all of that raises the question of whether you would have relevant information to that case in Florida, and would you be a witness there?
I'm not sure that I would have relevant information necessarily directly pertinent to that case, Lawrence, but I think what I discuss in the book and overall in terms of how the administration, especially towards the end, handled classified information, the book helped shed light on that, but it also helped shed light on how frivolous certain individuals were handling classified information. I can't speak exactly to what was brought down to Mar-a-Lago, but I could speak, and I can speak to how we were not handling classified information up to the standards that the national security community would expect.
You have descriptions of that going right up until 15 minutes before noon on Inauguration Day, with Mark Meadows telling you that he's rushing over to the Justice Department to try to get a document declassified before Donald Trump loses the powers of the presidency. Were you a witness when you look back on it? Did you see things that help explain to you how all those documents got to Florida that the FBI found in their search warrant?
I don't know exactly what documents were brought down to Florida. I knew what, now in my hindsight, now I know that especially what Mark particularly was dealing with. I don't know if that's part of the indictment, just to be completely frank with it, but it still speaks to how documents did get down there. And I can see how the documents that got down to Florida made their way down there. And, I wouldn't I'm not under the impression that that was necessarily accidental.
Yeah, you mean by just the general way documents were managed in the West Wing, or were there specific moments you saw collections of boxes over there in the corner that you understood were going to Florida?
I was not directly part of the packing of the boxes process.